Hey everybody, welcome back to another Deck Profile Friday. In this video, we'll be going over a new deck, one that hasn't really been seen. And, I wanted to make this because I absolutely really like the card. And I wanted to just do something different, and give the community, a deck that there hasn't really been a whole lot of lists shown and being played on Pokemon TCG Online, the live or just the regular one, either or. And I thought it was really cool, and it's actually one of my favorite Pokemon too. So, so I just wanted to just kind of mention as well. I did play this deck last night at Pokemon League, and I played about 5 games or so with it, and I actually did run into a few problems, which I'll address a little bit later at the end of the video. So, without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. So, we are playing the new Pokemon Go Dragonite Vstar. So we got 3 Vstar, right? And then we got 4 of the Vs. I do play 2 different ones here, right? And I do that for a good reason. So we got the Promo Knight V here. That's the triplet. So it's actually really good. The big thing that I really like about it is just the damage output, right? It's on a basic V Pokemon. It does 250 damage for 2 waters and a lightning energy, which is absolutely amazing. And if you slap a choice belt on it, right, then you get to that magic number of 280, which is really good. But it has the downside of doing 20 to each and every one of your benched Pokemon. So there's an easy way to counter that, which is to play Manaphy. And then you don't have to worry about that, right? The Manaphy from, I think it's Astral Radiance there, right? The one that prevents the bench spreading. Or might have been Brilliant Stars, can't remember. Right? But if you play that, then you don't even have to worry about that, right? It's just a free 250 damage attack on a basic V, which is insane. So 230 HP is really good. No weakness, no resistance. So no weakness is good. Not having a resistance is kind of terrible, right? Because you always want to have a resistance. So 3 retreat, which is really odd considering that the V-Star has only 2 retreat. And then its other attack there, Shred. It's not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so that's not too bad either. And then the 1 V there from the Pokemon Go series. So same HP and weakness and resistance. The better side, though, it does have a 2 retreat cost. And its first attack there, Hyper Beam, does 60 damage. And then you can discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. And that is actually really, really good, right? Its second attack there, Buster Tail, is... it's not terrible, for a lightning, a water, and a colorless. It does 160. It's kind of okay at best, right? But the main reason why we have the Dragonite Vs there is to go into the Dragonite V-Star. All right, so we do play 3. I kind of modeled the way that this deck is built after Arceus Inteleon, right? Playing a 4-3 Arceus line, and then like a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-2 Inteleon line, or maybe a 4-4-2-1 Inteleon line, right? Like 2 the Sword and Shield base, 1 of the Chilling Rain ones, right? That's kind of how I built the deck. But yeah, on the Vstar, 280 HP, and no weakness, no resistance, which is okay. A retreat cost is actually lower than the Promonite, which is like odd, right? Because you'd think it'd be higher because it's like a evolved Pokemon, right? But it isn't, which is surprising. Giga Impact there for a Lightning, a Water, and 2 colorless is 250. But during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. So that is the unfortunate thing about that card. And then its attack there, Draconic Star. That's V-Star power. Look at the top 12 cards of your deck. And you may attach any water or lightning energies you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. That is an insanely good attack. One of the problems that I was having when I was playing it, though, is that the attack doesn't do damage, right? And you need to be doing damage. You cannot afford to waste a turn not doing damage, because otherwise that could change the tide of the game, and then the prize exchange could not go in your favor, right? You always want to be ahead on prizes with this deck, all right? And by using that, your opponent has a chance to actually get ahead on prizes, right? So pretty much what I'm seeing is this V-Star power, instead of it being an attack, it should have been an ability, right? Had it been an ability, then it would have been way better. It'd probably be potentially the best deck in the format, right? But yeah, I guess this is what we got right now. This is the card, so nothing really we can do about it. We just have to play around with it, right? Yeah, but that was one of the problems that I was having, is being able to attack versus, needing to Draconic V-Star, because it's a lot of damage, but it's also it's like a high attack cost, right? Is it worth putting the 4 energies on to do 250? That's the question, right? And that is Dragonite V-Star. So now we go on to our, you probably guessed it, our Inteleon package. So we got 2 of the Inteleon, 3 Drizzile. Right, I do have like this proxied one here, which is the other Sword and Shield one, which is like another Shady Dealings. Right, I treat it as a Shady Dealings because I don't have enough. Right, and then we got 4 Sobble. So this is literally the best Sobble. HP, Retreat, Weakness, Resistance are pretty much average. Double Spin is okay, but it's mainly there for keep calling, so you can get more Sobble into play. And then we obviously have the Drizzile, which we don't really attack with. Same or average weakness, resistance, and retreat cost, right? The attack is okay, but it's mainly there for Shady Dealings. When you play it, search for a trainer card, right, which is really good, right? And that was actually one of the problems that I was having when I was playing the deck yesterday at League, which was that this deck actually was struggling to get what's it called, a Drizzile into play, which is absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't draw any in like it was like 2 games in a row, or even a search card to get one, right? So that there will definitely have to change. I would maybe consider adding a 4th copy in here, right? As I don't think it'll hurt. And then obviously the Shady Dealings Inteleon here, right? HP, retreat cost, resistance, and weakness are pretty average. Aqua Bullet there is actually a really nice attack. This is a good single prize attacker too. 2 energies, 120, and then a 20 damage snipe somewhere. And then Shady Dealings obviously searching for 2 trainer cards, which is really good. So if you can get that off multiple times in a turn, that's just really, really good. And that is the Inteleon line. We also do play a 1/1 Fluffy line, and then a Radiant Greninja to round out the Pokemon. Mareep is Mareep. That's just there to evolve into Fluffy. There is a 70 HP one, which I did consider. I think it was from Chilling Rain, or maybe it was Darkness Ablaze, can't remember. But the problem with it is that it does have 2 retreat. And you don't want 2 retreat. Well, you want 1 retreat, right? And then everything else about the card, the HP, the attacks, and everything on the bottom portion is pretty much average. And then Fluffy there, it's mainly there for Dynamotor, right? You could attack with it if needed, right, as like a potential Palkia counter, right? But it only does 50 damage, right? So is it really worth it, right? But it's mainly there for Dynamotor, just to get your lightning back, right? I couldn't get this out in a whole lot of games. I think I maybe got it out of 5 games, like 1 game, right? And the problem was that I just couldn't get like a switch card. Like if I needed to power up a Dragonite on the bench, right, I would need to have something else active just so I can Dynamotor to it. But then you have to burn your regular attachment on your active just to retreat it, where you should be attaching it to your Dragonite and then playing a card like Melanie or Raihan, right, to I guess respond attack, respond KO, right? So that's a huge problem that I was having. The Greninja there as well. The Greninja is all right. It actually combos really well with the Fluffy there. I did actually use it in a couple games. It wasn't really game breaking at all. Not as good as the Shady Dealings, Drizzle, and Inteleon were, but it was okay. It was okay. I need to do a little bit more testing just to see if it's worth keeping in there or worth cutting. That is it for the Pokemon. So, and I guess lastly as well, like you could attack with a Radiant Greninja, right? It just takes a real long time to actually power up, right? Because you have to manually attach there, or use the Draconic Star on the Dragonite to get some energy into play, right? And you can only do that once per game. So, yeah, that is the Pokemon. Now on to the trainers, supporters, and stadiums. For the supporters, we got 2 Melanie, a Marnie, a Professor's Research, a Raihan, and a Roxanne. So there's no boss in here, and my kind of reasoning behind it was that whatever your opponent brings active, you should be able to one-hit KO. The tricky thing with this thing is how do you knock out VMAXs when they can knock you out pretty easy? Like going up against Ice Rider, Calyrex VMAX, it's insanely hard. They just deal 250 out of nowhere, and then they slap a choice belt. It's 280. Perfect number to knock out your Dragonite. And then to actually get a KO on them, you have to do an additional 70 damage on top of the Dragonite V or Vstar's attack, right? So you need a Leon, a Choice Belt, and a Zigzagoon to just get that one-hit KO knockout on the Calyrex, right? Duraludon's even worse. That's an extra 80, right? How do you get that? Right? So, it's extremely hard. I actually don't have Leon in here, so I should probably put that in. Because Ice Rider is actually a really good deck right now when comboed with Palkia. Yeah, so Melanie attaches the energy. So if you can Melanie and Dynamotor in the same turn with your regular attachment, that's 3 energies, right? Also, when you Raihan, right, and Dynamotor in the same turn, that's also 3 energies, right? So you just attack with, the V or the Vstars attack with 250 by loading up 3 energy, right? Because we also, with the Raihan, we also do play a double turbo energy, so it's totally possible to do that. It'll do 230, not 250. But yeah, Marnie and Research because they're draw, and then Roxanne is a disruption card. So I actually never got Roxanne off, right, as I was too busy playing from behind, right? And I just never, like, it always came down to, like, would you rather Roxanne or what's it called? Or you play like a Melanie or a Raihan to get some more energy into play. I guess that's what the card does, is you play from behind, but that was that situation I just described was actually the situation that happened most common. And Boss's Orders 2, I should probably put that in because there's so many games where I was ready with the Dragonite V, the Promonite one, to deal that 250 damage turn 2 that I just couldn't get a boss to actually get a KO on the thing that I wanted to knock out. So I should probably do that. And then, yeah, so that is it for these supporters. Not a whole lot. But, yeah, it's okay. And then for the stadiums, we got probably the best stadium for the deck. I really like this one. I played it in Rayquaza. Stormy Mountain, right? You can't go wrong with this card. It's such a good card. It gets all your Dragonites and your Mareep really easy. Right? You could play things like Path to the Peak, as it doesn't really shut off anything except for the Greninja, right? But, yeah, another really good card. Training Court's an option as well, right? But a lot of decks are playing Training Court, so I'd rather just take my chances on having them play it and taking advantage of theirs while we get to have an additional stadium in our deck. That's it for the stadium. So the rest of the trainers, we got 4 Quick Ball, and yes, these are the Diamond and Pearl Mysterious Treasures one, because I actually ran out of Sword and Shield base and Fusion Strike ones. 3 Level Ball, 2 Choice Belt, 2 Evolution Incense, 2 Palpad, 2 Scoop Up Net, 2 Ultra Ball, and a single of each of Air Balloon and Tool Scrapper. So Quick Ball, Level Ball, Evolution Incense, and Ultra Ball to get out our Pokemon. Quick Ball and Ultra Ball both discard cards, so therefore you can discard energies to either Melanie or Dynamotor them back into play. Level Ball searches out our Mareep, Flaffy, Sobble, and Drizzle, so it's really good, right? Evolution Incense searches out our evolution cards, so Drizzle, Inteleon, and Dragonite Vstar, as well as Flaffy. And then Ultra Ball, I only play 2. You could probably get away with not playing Ultra Ball at all. You can maybe just cut them and then add in like a Level Ball or an Evolution Incense. But it's just another way to discard cards or energy to the discard pile to get them into play faster. Our tools, choice belt, an extra 30 to V Pokemon, so it allows us to hit that magic number of 280. Air balloon there with the 2 less retreat cost. And the tool remover, tool scrapper, remove 2. So this is great at getting around things like Big Charm, right? Which is another really good one. Or other air balloons and choice belts, right? And then we got Scoop Up Net. So that allows us to reuse our Drizzles. It might be worth it to put in a Zigzagoon. Just so, for that situation that I mentioned earlier with the extra 70 damage needed to knock out the Ice Rider Calyrex. And if you do that, if you put in a Zigzagoon, you might as well put in a Leon. Then that way you can one-hit KO it. And then double Palpat here to shuffle up the 2 supporters. I don't think you need 2, right? I think you'd probably drop it down to 1 and be okay. Maybe put in a switch. And then that is it for the trainer cards. So overall, not too bad. All the little fixes I'm telling you are probably what I'm going to do before this weekend. Right, and then that way I can try it out at an actual league. And then for our energies, we have 8 water, 3 lightning, and 2 double turbo. So the double turbo you can probably cut, as we don't really use that a whole lot. It's mainly for the Vstar. To power it up faster, right? But I would probably think of the Vstar as an addition to the deck, right? Where your main focus should maybe be attacking with the regular Dragonite V, like the promo Night one, because it deals the same damage, but it doesn't have that drawback of not being able to attack, right? And instead it just does 20 to everything on your bench. Which, if you play Manaphy, you can just kind of shrug that off, right? And then the 8 water and 3 lightning, so that's 11. This might be a little bit too much. I would maybe cut a water and maybe a second water or a lightning, right? Just to give it some more space, right? You need to be playing boss. You need Leon. You need some switching cards. Right, and possibly that Zigzagoon. Right, another potential thing that you could do is maybe just, we had the Flaffy line. Maybe just get rid of the Flaffy and add in another copy of Melanie or Raihan. Right, and just go straight Dragonite Inteleon, right? That's it. Just an option, so... Yeah, everybody, there you go. That was the deck. So, let me know what you think. Try it out. And I'm really eager to hear the responses from it, or with it. It's a pretty tough deck to play. And I always found, like, with the games that I played, I found, like, I was either, a card too short, or I just couldn't get enough energy into play to actually attack. So it's one of the big problems is it's, a 4 energy attack or a 3 energy attack. And then you see Ice Rider Calyrex or, Mew VMAX doing like 200 plus damage for like 2 energy. And it's like, how do you compete with that, right? Yep. Anyway, there you go, everybody. So, thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, leave a like and maybe perhaps consider subscribing to the channel. I'm always trying to, put videos out like this to help everybody in the community. and I'm just trying to add value. So with the deck profile Fridays, that's every single format, past and present, right? And you know, if somebody's looking to play an older format, right, there got some videos for that on the channel. Also, we do. I'm doing some openings on Sundays, right? So opening videos. Just because I like opening cards. I like pulling really nice things, so that's pretty cool. And then on Wednesdays is some more live gameplay. So, but yeah, let me know what you think. And once again, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and see you in the next video.